Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm back in black. So tonight we are going to be working on running another dungeon and seeing what else is next. I think after this it'll be Copperbell Mines. So let's get ready to go. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and call forth my Carby. So we're not gonna go with the NPC party. We're gonna go the Tamtara Deep Craft. Yep, here's our help for the we'll look at our adventurers plate later. Let's get ready to roll. Okay, so this is gonna be Copperbell Mines. Or I'm sorry, not Copperbell, but Tamtara. I can tell this is going to be an enjoyable evening because we have some real characters with us tonight. Let's buff up. Not something I would usually recommend as playing right into a boss battle. But since this is an earlier dungeon, it's a lot easier to do that. You won't want to do that once you get into the much higher dungeons. Alright, let's take a look at the loot. It's not something we need tonight. So, Well, this is something that happens quite a bit when you're playing with other folks, is that they are in a hurry to run a dungeon, get it over with. Which, typically I don't have a problem with. Alright. And of course, my thing is I will always, always, always not take something. Ah, sometimes you get lucky like that. Always try to prevent yourself from pulling unnecessarily. If you are DPS, you should only be pulling anything if you are a tank. Like, I don't like pulling anything. Unless I absolutely have to, as a summoner. So, today, boys and girls, what did we learn? We learned how to be a good DPS. Now, there will be some times where you are in what we call an off tank. If you are an off tank, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you are not running over the main tank. That'll be during the bigger stuff. Ooh, looky, looky, looky. I leveled up. And my summon emerald came up to being. We're going to go ahead and skip this real quick because I'm sure my friends are tired of waiting on me when we had to view something like that. We're going to pass. Ladies and gentlemen, also make sure you stay up on your dots. Because if you don't stay up on your dots, we're going to have some major, serious, big, huge problems. Yeah, we don't want anything given that yucky, yucky thing. See? Oh. As I said, we gotta put an end to those guys. Because the more power he gets, the more of a pain in the backside he's gonna be to us. And that's just not something I want tonight. And another level up. Well, at least he's done and gone now. You will have to face another one just like this eventually. So just have fun. And don't forget to update your gear when you get out your dungeon that you've just been in. Always calm your healers. Or your tank. Depending on which one you would like to do best. And look at that, we have a player calm. You might want to get as many of those as you can get. So we're going to go ahead and return to New Gridania by teleporting because I don't feel like trying to beat anybody's tails that want to be a butt. So, another first dungeon down. Now, depending on how you play the game, will be depending on how you encounter the dungeons. If you start in Ildal, you'll start with Copperbell Mines first, then one of the other two dungeons next, and then finally whichever one is going to be last for you. If you start in Gridania, you'll be starting off with this dungeon first at Tamterra, and then going to everywhere else. Or at least, when I started playing, that's how it was. think that's where we'll get our next one. Pretty soon we'll be approached by Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and that will be a fun one. If you've seen anything about Pray Tell Return to the Waking Sands, this is what that's gonna be. And we have already gotten our next mission, but we'll deal with that in just a little while after we're done with Ulda. That's a all too common occurrence when you first start playing this game. Let me find the way out of here first, though. Is seeing someone rescue you as soon as you appear. This happens ever so often because people think that they can take the big baddie that they have just encountered. We're gonna go talk to Miss Momodi. Miss Momodi, she is a sweet little Lullafell that loves to hear about people's problems. Very, very great lady. I like her personally. She's one of my favorites. But my favorite, hands down, has got to be Balderon. Old crusty sailor. Those are the good types. Now, as you can see, I'm attending to an Aether site that will take me from here to the Aether site plaza. And I can't talk tonight. I promise you, I've not had a swill of any sort of alcohol. I'm just having trouble talking tonight. That's become a common issue since June. So, I'll explain that one another time. Ah, yes, Copper Bell Mines. This is Papa Sean. Alright, so real quick, let's go to our character gear real quick. So there it is. That's the new gear set. Makes her look a bit more cooler. Usually I don't get this cool of a gear. I need to go back over and go to Painted Mace. Alright, so now as you can see, it is a bit laggy. This is a normal, common occurrence in the main cities, is for that lag to be, oh, so real. Let's find our way out of here. Because let me tell you something. Some of my favorite gamers, and all of YouTube, used to say, oh, the lag is real, and they were never wrong. I wonder if that's a mender, because we need to do some equipment mending. Yep. So, look for these guys if you notice that there's some red on your weapons. We're going to go ahead and repair it all for 21 gil and be done. And we're going to go ahead and head out the gate of the Sultana. We've discovered a new location, which means we have received an extra bit of XP. Always be on the lookout for the little beams overheads of enemies. That way we can destroy them when it becomes necessary. Always look for your next bit of XP. Of course, we are level 23. What I think may have happened here. And that's something that does happen. You will get a little confused or a little confused about things out here. So we're just going to go and take along the trail here. We are level 23 at this point, which is often a good thing. This is typically when I would take the time after the first 3 dungeons to catch up on any side quests for your character. Because the more that you have of your character developed in their job, the more powerful the character is. And you want maximum power after the first 3 dungeons. Because if you don't have maximum power, guess what? Trouble is going to abound, and you're going to find out real quick that it's not going to be a fun day for you. But now that we know that we are on the right track, and we are well on our way to Copper Bell Mine, as you can see, there's a lot of people waiting here to do this dungeon. So let's go see if we can't sneak in on a group here. Alright, we now have Copper Bell Mines. So, before we go in there, let's take a look at our adventurer plate. Alright, so the adventurer plate allows things to go down. So what I like to do is I like to edit the plate design. And let's go with something Limsa. There we go. So let's go to our advanced settings. We're going to go Arcane Sigil. And we're going to reverse that because I like to have the picture first. Now let's edit our profile just a little bit. We don't have a title yet, but you can edit that there. And we're just going to edit our stuff here. Because I usually go Save. So this kind of gives us a little bit more to go with. Now, let us go in here. We're not going to do NPCs. I think that's a disastrous idea when you're just starting out. It'll take us about 9 minutes to get into this dungeon. So, how y'all doing this week? Everything going alright? What's something you'd like to see in Final Fantasy XIV that you don't think has been seen yet? Or if you haven't started playing yet, what's keeping you from playing? I know a lot of people think that this Final Fantasy is going to be like many of the other Final Fantasies, where it's turn-based. However, it is not turn-based. Everybody's getting to attack what everybody wants to attack. You know, because you're only playing one character. Oh, that was less than 9. Let's do it. So, I love Yumi. She's one of my favorite characters. So, something that you might be noticing on a lot of these new characters that are just starting to play, you might notice their like little flower, like you notice right here. This one is for mentors. As you can see, I kind of have a little flower myself. Even though I'm not exactly new to the game, I know what to do. And as you can see, I'm staying away from the tank's influence. Okay. Let's get on the lift. If your carbuncle doesn't make it, don't worry, it'll follow you down. See one that does not have it, but also doesn't have anything else on it. So. But yes, we always stay off the tank. Shoot. Thank you. Realize that I didn't have a tank with me. Shoot. I gotta get away from that before I end up in trouble. I'm going to make an apology because, yeah, I know better. This dungeon is a little different than the other ones, as you might already see. I'll try and keep with the group when you're fighting things. I know that can be a tad bit difficult. always be careful of the AoE. Always watch for the dark stuff. Always be aware of where you are on the map. Because trust me, you don't want to be the one who dies. Like, we always need to stay away from the front. Because when he casts an AoE, that's gonna be why we die. Little portraits in a little while. When we're not in a dungeon fighting. See what I mean? She always makes it down with you. Stay away from the AoEs, guys. Oh, there we go. And looky, looky. As you can see, I haven't gained anything that helps relax my cooldowns yet, but it's always a good idea to check it out. Yeah. Let's go ahead and skip that real quick. As I said, always make sure you're out of any AoE. This means including the big donuts that we don't really like, because I like donuts. I prefer to eat. And there we go. That is the end. And we have leveled up yet again. Hello. Always give some thanks, guys. Don't leave your people hanging. We are most definitely going to thank our healer, because the healer makes everything go right. Without the healer, everybody'd be dead by now. Okay, so I did not get a player calm that time. It more than likely went to the healer. So now, why don't we go... Oh, wrong one. Almost went to the wrong place. We need to go back to Ulda. Cool, leggy, 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 leg. I am not enjoying this lag. But first, let us update our gear. Now, there is no shame in dying, so if you die during a dungeon, just be polite about it. We're gonna come over here and stop by this little chocobo portal real quick. Because who knows if we might need a chocobo later. And you notice how I didn't attune to the other set that was near the area? And that was mainly because of the fact that we didn't go inside the city. Oh yeah, that's right. We've got this little added part. Thankfully, we've updated my gear, so I should be able to beat these guys from here to Ohio. I'm just going to go ahead and skip this because we're going to find a maiden in distress. Okay. Let's deal with a couple of jerkwads here. Next, we're going to take on the caster. And there we go. Duty's over. You will run into things like that where some fair maiden needs a little bit of a hand. Stop and give the fair maiden a hand. Aww. I think they pissed themselves. I'm gonna let this play because it's gonna show an integral part of the story where that guy had where the raunchy salesman that we encountered had accused her of stealing something that she didn't steal. A lot of these people have been displaced from their homes. Of course, everybody's upset. They're running away from the Garleans. See, girl didn't really steal nothing. She had purchased everything like she was supposed to. He's obnoxious. Ah, yes, Chola. So this is where we get involved with Scions of the Seventh Dawn. So let's go back and visit Mamandi. As you can see, they're still highly decorated for Easter here in Ul'dah, and they are in the other city-states of Lominsa and Gridania as well. So, since Easter has just barely passed, it hasn't even been a week yet. It'll be a week tomorrow since Good Friday, so I'm hoping that everybody has enjoyed their Easter. Or for me, as a Christian, it's Resurrection Sunday. So, Alright. So this is the next mission. So we're gonna go out the way that we went out the last time. So it's a little fun as an earlier summoner, but the best thing comes when you do get a free company. My free company, Coven, they're pretty awesome people. I just haven't been able to find them in the free company section. Alright, so let's look at duty support. So these are the people that you can take with you when you go to register for duty. Okay. Kind of important that you pay attention to this. And then let's say we have Hero's Portrait. So we can edit this. Go DPS gradient, metallic gold, and DPS emblem, or you can go with the sparkles. So there's that. Let's look at our adventurers play. And there it is. So there you go. We have marmosets and everything out here. Nothing with little beads over them. Or little beans is what I like to call them. And look at that. We're already almost level 26. Boy, does time fly from when you first start playing the game to when you just now are getting to join up with the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. One of my favorite characters, I love her to death, is Axilla. At first, you come to know her as the leader of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, and we start off with their work against the Scions, who wish to rejoin everything as one. What people don't realize is that when you try and mess up things that you probably shouldn't be messing up, guess what tends to happen, folks? You guessed it. Calamity galore. So, you know how they say, what's not broke, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Come on, leave things alone. But as we know, people can't really ever do that very well, can they? They don't tend to leave things alone. So, we're just going to make our happy way down to Vesper Bay. I do kind of wish they would put an Aether site down there, but the closest we get is a town over from that. So, we'll see. Wait, I've gone the wrong way. Alright, so that's another story when we get there. Sometimes it's easy to get mixed up. In case you all haven't noticed, I am a conservative Christian woman. I love being a conservative Christian woman. It doesn't mean that I can't play video games or that I'm being blasphemous by playing video games with, with magic spells in them. I'm not a witch. I'm just a simple, everyday North American woman who, after a stroke, had to leave her job that paid her $16, $17, $18 an hour, working 7 days a week, spending massive amounts of time away from my family. I'm trying to do a little bit better for them, for my family. Something that most people don't know is I've got 4 kids. These 4 kids are the light of my life. I love them all. And I've also been married for 13 years. Our wedding anniversary was just on March 14th. Um, I love that man with my whole heart. Such a good guy. And I love my kids with my whole heart. They're amazing. My oldest will be 13 this August, and I've got one celebrating a birthday in like 3 days. Oh my gosh, where does the time go? Doesn't seem like that long ago. We were impatiently waiting his arrival, because his birthday's on the 24th. It doesn't really seem like all that long ago. We were just patiently waiting for him to come into this world. Can't believe it's been 10 years since they last said the world was going to end either. 2012, we're looking at you. The world did not end. We're all still here. It probably did end for somebody, though, because they died. My little girl came like 5 years later. She's the only little girl that we've got. And let me tell you something, she is spoiled rotten. She knows who's in charge, and she knows it's her. And then my youngest, he's just the sweetest. He just turned 2 in November. He is nonverbal. Unlike his brother who has ADHD and has no problem in telling the whole world how he feels about everything. So, that's just a little bit about me. All my babies. My husband of 13 years, Aaron. He's my best friend, my confidant, my everything. Come here, Chocobo, keep. Okay. As you can see, that is a mount. And we're going to tune to this because we're going to need it. Let's dump some stuff off here. But yeah, let's repair our gear. Keep your gear frosty, guys. You don't want to lose your gear. I'm only keeping things that I can use eventually. There. To build. As in, you will eventually pick a crafting slash gathering career. My advice to you is to take all of the gathering and find like 2 or 3 things that you're really gonna enjoy. One of my other characters, I've had her for about a good 2 or 3 years now. She's dabbled in a lot of things, so I'm having trouble figuring out what I want to finish leveling up first. I'm really close on my miner on that one though. Mining is a great way to get gems and stuff that's going to help you make jewelry and what have you. Eventually, you end up becoming an omnicrafter. So yeah, omnicrafting is a big thing in Final Fantasy XIV because you get to make gear that looks really cool. In fact, I'll show you the gear that was made for me by one of my FC members. She's a doll. Devils, love ya. You're good people. But this is an alt. You're almost there. The first time you come through here, you kind of have to walk your way through. Gosh. My internet connection's not that great. That's why we're ever so laggy. Okay, so we're not going to go on chocobo ride. So let's take a look at this. Let's go for a player search. She may not be on right now. Ah, there she is. This is where we meet Mistress Tataru. I'm sure you better yet. Let's take a look. Nope. Minfilia. And I live next to a set of railroad tracks. So you're probably going to hear a train go by. So there it is. So now we can hire a retainer. They're talking about Louis Swall. Now, careful with Thancred, he is a ladies' man. He can be seen in some portions of the Echo as conversing with the ladies. So, hmm. Where did Thancred go? As usual, I tend to miss him. Yep, there he is. So, I think what I'm going to do tonight is I think I'm going to end this here. Um, it's about time to end it. Let's thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you all have a pleasant evening, week. Um, happy almost summer break to everybody. We got such little time before summer break. We're going to go ahead and exit to Vesper Bay so that way I know where I'm at tomorrow when I do another recording. So, or maybe the next, I don't know when I'm going to do my next recording. That's always a thing for me. So, next time we'll talk about retainer vocates and we'll talk about our first primal battle. Oh, it's always a fun time when you get captured by a primal and they expect to try to temper you and they can't. It's a wonderful time. But anywho, thank you for joining me tonight and I appreciate it. Please subscribe, give me a rumble or whatever. So, have a pleasant night, everybody. Good